Welcome, Phil here. And today, what I want to talk about is how to lose 10 to 15 kilos and the three big problems that stop many 40 plus male executives from ever achieving that. So let's dive into the model and we'll cover this. So essentially, our goal is can we lose 10 to 15 kilos in about 10 to 15 weeks? Now, you might be thinking, Phil, it's not just about the weight, definitely. So everything I talk about from now on, think of it as improving muscle definition, strength, mobility, and health, and all the other stuff. But we'll stick to kind of the idea of that body fat has to come down for most of you guys first, and therefore let's get some weight off, right? So let's look at the three problems that most of you will probably have, but you can let me know. Now, problem number one is I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Diet confusion. You don't know what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. You don't know if you do low carb, high carb, intermittent fasting. You follow one coach, he says this, another coach, he says that. And it's overwhelming and it's confusing. And you're like, just tell me what to do, is what a lot of the guys say to me. What do you want me to follow? Make it simple, make it sustainable. So that's diet confusion. If we can fix that, a lot of good things can happen from a fat loss point of view. Now, the second problem I hear is kind of ineffective, often long workouts. Could be one or the other. Could be long, it's taking too much time. Could be ineffective, and it could be both, which is a right pain in the butt. But essentially, you're doing what you think you should do. Maybe lifting weights, doing the fitness classes, going running, doing yoga. And you do it for a few months and you look in the mirror and go, I haven't got any, I don't look much better. I'm certainly not getting the strength I wanted, or I keep getting injured, or I'm always sore, never have any energy. And you're looking and thinking to yourself, this is not working for me. Not only is it not working, it's probably taking a lot of time, and you don't have a lot of time. So we don't want it to be ineffective, and we certainly don't want it to be kind of inefficient. So that's problem number two. Problem number three will be something that, if you're watching this video, I'd be very surprised if you aren't saying, yes, that's me. And it is hard to stick to. If you're a classic yo-yo dieter, so if you're saying, Phil, I've tried many, many times in the past, I've lost. You may have lost 2 or 3 kilos, but you want to lose 10, or you may have lost 10 and then you've gained it back. You may never get to where you want to be and you gain it back, or you may get somewhere close when you really try hard for maybe a wedding or a holiday. And then for two weeks of the year, you're in okay shape, but then you regain it because it's hard to stick to. It takes a lot of willpower. And quite frankly, you know that you can't follow this for the rest of your life. It's not a lifestyle. There's a lot of following of fad diets. We need to fix those problems. Now, if we fix these problems, what we get is, from the dieting point of view, to lose body fat, is we get diet. I was meant to say diet clarity. We'll pretend it says diet clarity. Or you can think of it as diet confidence. You know what to eat, when to eat, what foods are good, what foods are kind of bad from a weight loss point of view, how to structure it, how to eat when you've got a social life, how to do it when you've got a business trip in hotels, how to have some treats, how to stay on plan. There's just this real lack of a real sense of clarity and confidence that you know how to deal with all situations, and therefore you can be consistent and lose the fat that you want to lose. So that's what we want. I want there to be just this understanding of, I know nutrition. I know enough to really get my goals. And the funny thing is what you need to know for all of this stuff, it's not like you need a PhD in this stuff. You don't need to know the same as maybe an Olympic gold medalist or a kind of pro bodybuilder. What we want for workouts is we want them to be effective workouts, and they fit your schedule. They're efficient. You're saying to yourself, right, I'm a busy dude. I've got a job, I travel, got kids, got a wife, got a social life, but I know that if all things considered, I know that I need to do this for my kids or whatever goals you have. You know that you can find the time to do it. You look at it on paper and go, yeah, because I'm committed, I'm willing, I can find that time. I can make the time to do this. It's doable. Rather than, I've been guilty of doing the 6 days a week, 3 hours at a time stuff. And yeah, that was all right in my 20s, but I wouldn't want to do that now. I'm 40 with stepkids and, this business and everything else that goes on. So we want it to be effective and we want it to be efficient. And then what we want, of course, no prizes for guessing this one. We want it to be easy to follow or essentially stick to. We want to look at it and go, right, this is all right. I could follow this for the rest of my life. It's a lifestyle. I can be consistent. I can sustain it because then I not only can achieve my goals, I can do it long term. I don't have to think I'm going to fall off the wagon at some point. When we get those things, when we get diet clarity, effective, time efficient workouts, and we get something that's easy to follow, as a side note, it's never going to be really easy. Like, it's not like I've got a pill you can take, but you look at it and go, yeah, again, with a level of commitment, and a level of making it enjoyable, which you definitely can if you get it right. I can stick to this, and I know that the benefits are going to come, and I'm going to be motivated to do it. So what we want is, how do we get from the red to the green? How do we go from where we are right now to this place where we're looking at it? If we zoom out and go, yeah, I can do this. Like, this. I can get results. I can sustain it. I'm clear. It doesn't impact my life too much. It doesn't ruin my social life, and I can just, I guess, get on with my life. I can make kind of fitness and wellness and well-being and health just this thing that's kind of almost like on autopilot in the background. It isn't something you lay in bed and worry about. It's just something you get up and do. So we got is essentially for each one of these, we have a fix. We have 9 accelerators. Right, so diet. Let's get this color changed to blue. Blue is always the fix here. We want perfect portions. That's a fancy way of just saying get the bloody calories right. You need to know that, because if you don't know how to get the calories right, you can't lose body fat. And you need to know what the portions look like, because a lot of you, if you followed me for a while, you know that most of my clients are business owners, and I'm even not really I'm not really like a bodybuilder. I don't walk around like I used to with Tupperware pots and bags full of food. I eat on the go quite a lot. I'll pick up snacks on the go if I have to, and I'll have a good base of kind of a blend of doing that and, preparing meals at home. But if you know what the portion sizes need to be, you can get good at kind of eyeballing food, and it becomes a good skill to understand that if you eat this much food when you're out with a client or you're on holiday, you're probably going to be on track for getting some results. So that's the first one. The next one is informed food choices. A lot of you guys will say to me, I don't know what to eat. And if you go on any social media at the moment, you'll see that pretty much everything is demonized. If you followed every coach online, you would probably end up eating nothing but, you'd end up having nothing but water. And I'm sure someone would say that water is bad. We want informed food choices. We want to understand what foods to have to get the right macros, protein, fats, and carbs. Getting that right is going to keep you from being hungry. It's going to aid the muscle building. It's going to keep you energized. It's going to reduce cravings. It's going to improve your health. So we want to look at meals or menus, go into the fridge or go into the shop and be able to look at foods and go, I know I need to have this, this, and this for this reason. And then we can build the meals from it. Or if you're out and about with a client or you're in a hotel, you just look at the menu and you can make an informed choice of what is best. And then what we've got here is tailored timing. I use that one because a lot of you guys will say, I don't know when to eat. It can be highly flexible. It really is about putting this into perspective of what fits you. Do you need to have breakfast? Do you need to eat late at night? Do you want to have 6 meals? Do you want to have 3? What do you have before and after training to optimize your performance? What's the structure going to be? If we get that right and we can fit it to your lifestyle, make it based on your preferences, we can make it very, very easy to follow. Basically, it's about having structure. All those things will make it very, very easy to understand nutrition, from a kind of overview and allow you to lose body fat, which is what you want to do. On the other side, when it comes to the training, what we want essentially is to have fast muscle building. I wasn't going to use the word fast because I want people to think that I'm saying that I can do it faster than anyone else. I hope you do it faster than anyone else, but fast relatively. If you're someone that doesn't gain any muscle, then we want it to be kind of efficient. We want it to be faster. That means we must have some resistance training. Too many guys are not putting the resistance training in. And side note, listen to this. If you are someone that is saying, but Phil, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to build muscle. You still need the resistance training because you don't want to lose muscle. Lots of really bad things happen when you lose muscle, apart from looking skinny fat at the end. So there's the first one. We obviously want improve fitness. And that comes from really sensible cardio, understanding how much to do, what type to do, what style. Do we do steady state? Do we do HIIT training? Do we do 30 minutes? Do we do 45? Do we do it in the morning? Do we do it in the evening? But what we want is to have a structure that allows us to improve our fitness, but it doesn't eat into our recovery. And of course, again, going back to our problem, we don't want it to take hours because you haven't got the time to do it. And then the third one here, we want, and this is important for us because we are getting on a bit, maybe I'll speak for myself, we want great movement. We don't just want to be muscle-bound freaks. We don't want to be injured all the time. We don't want to feel stiff. We want an element of movement. You take that for granted when you're 20, 30. Since I've turned 40, I've definitely picked up more injuries and I've had to definitely change my training. And I'm definitely appreciating that I need to go more towards mobility and movement and core strength and all the things that just allow me to maintain a certain level of movement so that when I get to 50, 60, 70, hopefully 80, I can still do the things I want to do. I don't want to be that kind of old guy that's kind of just sat in front of the TV, drinking, eating, and watching TV. I want to, as long as possible, I want to experience life. So we want great movement. Of course, none of this is possible without the easy to follow, right? It's just not possible. So what we got in terms of easy to follow is, these are important, take note. A balanced approach. Are you an all or nothing guy? Most of the guys I work with are very all or nothing. They are either, if you get like a spectrum, they're either couch potato, not doing anything. I'm not exercising. I'm not eating well. I'm not even thinking about my health, my fitness. I'm just living life. On the other end of the spectrum, the athlete, the wannabe bodybuilder, the guy that's meticulous about everything. And you probably have yo-yo between the two. Don't give a shit, making it too strict, too difficult, making all the mistakes, and you can't follow it. The key is the balanced approach. Now, when I say balanced, I mean you can have things that you like and you can be regimented when you need to. So that's something you want to come away from that all or nothing approach and get a more balanced approach with training and nutrition so that you can sustain it. And the next one, which is vital to this, flexible eating. Why? Well, too many of you make the mistake of going all in, too hardcore. Let's get this on the screen a bit better. Let's have a look. Too hardcore. You are, like I said, all or nothing. You cut out all the foods you don't think you can eat, sugars and takeaways and alcohol, and then you go traveling. You stay in a hotel, you have client meetings, or you just have a social life or a holiday, and it all goes out the window. There needs to be some flexibility there. There needs to be the ability to say to yourself, right, I know how to do this. I know that if I'm going to have a social life, I know how to have this kind of food or maybe a few beers and go back to normal. I know that I'm going traveling for a couple of weeks or a few days and I'm going to be eating in hotels or meeting with clients. This is what I do. We need that flexible eating. We need to understand that. Possibly the most important one on the whole screen. And then the last one, handwriting is awful. Guaranteed results. Because if you get it all right, they can be guaranteed. May take time, may take hard work, but if you get everything right, there should be consistently good results. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because a lot of you don't get the results that you want and you lose the motivation. What we need is a system where we track what we're doing, food intake, steps, the cardio. We analyze on a weekly basis. So, for example, my clients will check in with photographs and measurements, and kind of they'll fill out a form which will talk to me, tell me stuff about their injuries and their hunger and their digestion and their energy levels, and we'll piece it all together. And I'll say, yeah, this is good. What I'm looking for is we've got results. Pound has been lost, half a pound, measurements have improved, strength's gone up, but it's easy to stick to and they're still enjoying the process. They're not on the verge of saying, I quit. That needs to be done in a systematic way of where we track stuff. We have our plans in place. We follow it. We assess it. We evaluate and we adjust, because the plan that you start that might help you lose 4 kilos might not be the plan that allows you to get to the next milestone, which may be 8 kilos. And the plan that gets you to 8 kilos might not be the plan that gets you to 12 kilos. The body starts to fight back. So we need to understand that there's a system and there is a way that you take what you're doing, you kind of zoom out and you go, right, this is what I've done with my diet. This is what I've done with my training, my cardio. These are all the pieces. I'm not getting results from this now, but because you've been tracking it, because you have the data, a bit like in a business, because you can look at it and go, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. You can make changes. And then those changes will allow you to carry on getting results, which means that as the weeks go by, yes, you'll have slow weeks. Yes, you'll have fluctuations. And yes, you will have times where you plateau. But over the course of weeks and months, because you know what to do, you get guaranteed results. And of course, this makes it easier to stick to because you build momentum, you increase motivation, and all of this kind of that we're talking about starts to allow you to change habits and build discipline. Hopefully that's been helpful. What we wanted to do is go from having diet confusion to kind of clarity. We want to go from feeling like we are wasting our time in the gym or with our exercise to feeling like the stuff we are doing is moving us towards our goal. And we want to come away from this is horrible, it's torturous, I'm always hungry, I hate this, I don't feel like it fits with my lifestyle as a busy exec, to thinking to yourself, right, I've got the strategies and the mindset and the understanding to follow this stuff, be consistent, change the plan to when needed, and get that 10 to 15 kilos, not only off, but keep it off. Hopefully that's helped. Now, if you'd like some help with this, depending on where you're watching it, you can either comment 10 below. It's the easiest thing. Just comment 10 below and I'll reach out to you and we can have a chat. I can give you some more details. If you're watching it on my website, I'll probably just pop a button below that will allow you to go from there. Hope that helps. Speak to you soon.